Hello.
Hello. Happy Wednesday, everyone. How are you all?
I am good.
Check out Ava's cool shirt. I wonder if she likes cats. Let's start with our How Are You song. This is my How Are You song. Hold on a second. I'm getting my songs confused. Amelia, your lips. Here we go. This is my How Are You song. This is my How Do You Do song. And I'm so glad you are here. This is my I Miss You song. This is my High Five to You song. And I'm so glad we are here. And we know Tart and Bit will come to visit. And I'm so glad we are here. One more time. This is my How Are You song. This is my High Five to You song. And I'm so glad we are here. This is my I Miss You song. This is my High Five to You song. And I'm so glad we are here. And we know Tart and Bit will come to visit. And I'm so glad we are here. Yes, I'm so glad we are here. Amelia got a lip job since last week. Big, red, shiny lips. She can't talk them very well, though. All right. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? I hope you are well. I'm glad you could join us today. I see that we have my mom, Kathy, and Kathy Schumann's with us. My sister, Katie's here. Wendy's with us, and all the rest of you out there in TV land, I was going to say, but that's not quite the right phrase. But we hope you're doing well and enjoying this beautiful day. We had a little bit of rain this morning. I heard it waking me up gently, and it was beautiful. I loved it. Mm-hmm. So let's go see what's outside our windows this morning. After we had a little rainfall and we enjoyed the cooling off, let's go see, ladies, let's go see what's outside our windows. You go, I'll go, and then we'll come back and talk about it. All right. All right, let's see.
I see my cat.
Oh, Amelia sees Gigi. Okay. There's a big crane. I don't know, is that what you call a crane out there? All right. So, Katie says she doesn't have a window to look out of. I wonder if she's at work today. Amelia saw our cat Gigi. Meow. Yes. All right. Let's see. Kathy Anderson says she sees a badminton net and rocking chairs. My dad sees a ladder holding up the volleyball net. Okay, nice. We have a church right across the street from us, and they're getting a new sign put up in front of their church. So we see a truck that has one of those crane arms that can go up high, and they've been lifting this sign and positioning it in place just right so that it's in there and won't fall and it's level and all that stuff. Wendy says she sees a wet deck. So you guys must have gotten some rain or you washed your deck today. One of the two, right? One of the two. So this week we are going to be talking more about Moses, and I would really like those lips to maybe retire for now because we can't see your real face. We are going to be talking about Moses and how he grew up in Pharaoh's castle, which allowed or Pharaoh's temple, which allowed him to really learn how to communicate with all sorts of different people. So today's theme is communicating with people that either are different from us or speak different languages or have different cultural beliefs. So that's kind of the theme of today. So I thought we would kick things off with, let's find it in the Bible. Now this story about Moses is kind of long, so I'm going to just paraphrase a lot of it. But it's found in the book of Exodus, the second book in the Old Testament. And we're at, we're kind of at chapter 2 going into chapter 3. So Moses grew up in Pharaoh's temple. He also grew up with his mom, his real Hebrew mom, raising him. And so he learned the culture and traditions of his family, the Hebrew people. He also learned, Nelia? He also learned the culture and traditions of the Egyptian people, because they all were living in Egypt at the time. And I think that maybe he struggled a little bit with his identity because he saw the Egyptians treating the Hebrew people like slaves. And they weren't being kind, and they were working them very hard. And so I think he was a little torn about wanting to take care of his Hebrew family, also trying to respect his Egyptian family. It was probably very confusing. But he learned an important lesson about how to communicate with very different people. Then he ends up going on a trip, and he leaves Egypt. I think he leaves Egypt, but he goes off to a foreign land. And he ends up meeting some families there, and he gets married, and he has children. So not only did he learn about his Hebrew culture and grew up in an Egyptian culture, he then moved to a new land and learned a new way of living. He learned a new way of communicating. He married into a new group of people. So that's another form of communication that he learned to interact with people that were different from him. And it was right around that time. This is probably a story you all know about the burning bush, when he was out tending his flock and God appeared to him in the form of a burning bush that didn't burn up. It just kept burning and burning. And that was when God told Moses, you are going to lead the Hebrew people out of Egypt and find them their own land. So that's the story that we're talking about today with Moses. So I just paraphrased it. And I would encourage you to read Exodus chapters 2 through 4 if you want a little bit more detail into that. But it's a very cool story about how Moses learned the importance of communicating with all sorts of different people. Now, I can relate to Moses because I grew up in a foreign land. I did not grow up in the United States of America. I grew up in Budapest, Hungary, which is in Eastern Europe. And I spent the first 7 years of my life there. And then I also moved to the country of Romania, which is right next to Hungary, so also in Eastern Europe. And I lived there for about 6 months with my family and learned about their culture and the way they spoke. And it's not always easy to communicate with people that you don't speak their language or understand all of their cultural practices. But Turt and Bit, they have something to say on the subject. So I'm going to move things over to Turt and Bit. Okay?
And Billy.
Actually, it's Billy and Turt this time around. But you know what I mean. All right, here we go. Billy and Turt this time around. But you know what I mean. All right, here we go. Okay, here we are. We see Turt is with us. Okay. Turt! Turt! Turt, 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 Turt! I need your help! I need your help! I need your help! Well, okay. What's going on, Billy? Well, I was at that animal fair that's going on this week, and I was in line for some cotton candy. Yeah, cotton candy. And the strangest bear came up to me. Oh, well, what made the bear strange, Billy? Well, she kept talking. She kept talking to me in a different language. I didn't understand her. Well, that's not so strange. You know, there are animals of all nations that live here, Yeah, I guess you're right. I wasn't expecting her to talk to me is all. And I stared at her and I stared at her as she was talking to me and I had no idea. I had no idea what she was saying. Oh, I see. So you struggled to communicate with each other because you speak different languages. Yeah. And I'm curious. I'm curious about what she was trying to say to me, what she needed. But I got shy, and because I didn't speak the same language as her, and I don't know what to do. Oh well, communicating with someone who speaks a different language may seem impossible, but it's not too tricky. You just need to get creative. But how? Well, first, let me find that world map that I have. And then we could show it to her and ask her where she's from. Oh, here it is. Here's that world map of mine. And then let's bring some pencil and paper because sometimes drawing pictures helps communicate with people who don't speak the same language as you. Wow, that's great. Okay, well, she's right over here at the animal fair. Come with me, okay? All right. Here she is. Here she is. Okay. Hello. Bună ziua. Well, hello. I'm Turt. And I'm Billy. Da. Mă numesc Daniela. Daniela. You are Daniela? Da, mă numesc Daniela. Okay, her name must be Daniela. Daniela, where on this map, where are you from? Da, aici Romania. Oh, she's from the country of Romania. Da, Romania. Wow, she must be from the Carpathian brown bear family. The Carpathian bears are known as the kings and queens of the Carpathian forests in Romania. Wow, that's so neat. Okay, so I'm going to use the notebook and I'm going to draw a picture of a question mark and a picture of the animal fair and see if she can if she can tell me what she needs. All right, here we go. Drawing picture. Here, see what it says? Chevriu? Oh, look, she's drawing a picture. Let's see what it is. Oh, Billy, she drew a picture of herself holding something that looks kind of like cotton candy. Yes. Oh, yes. I was standing in line to get cotton candy when I met her. Bruniște. Oh, I think that means that she wants some cotton candy and would like your help to get it. Da, vă rog. Oh, okay. Well, I'll order some for each one of us. Yummy. Yummy. I guess that yummy translates in any language. That's awesome. Let's get some cotton candy. All right. Whew, there was a lot going on in that skit. Thank you, Ava and Amelia. That was not easy. It's also not easy for me to speak Romanian when I only know 2 words and I had to use Google Translate. But if y'all want to say hello to someone in Romanian, Bună ziua. Can you say it?
Bună ziua.
Bună ziua. That means good afternoon in Romanian. So that is what they're up to. And since we've met a Romanian bear from the Carpathian Mountains, you should look up the Carpathian Mountains. They are beautiful. We watched a documentary on, was it Amazon? I think it was on Amazon Prime about the Carpathian Mountains, and it was really neat, and I would recommend it. Let's see, Buna, not Bona, Bună ziua. My dad knows some Romanian too, probably. He learned quite a bit. So, since we're talking about Romania, I wanted to share a few pictures of my time when I was in Romania with my family. Can you stop running around? It's very loud. I was Ava's age when I lived there. I turned 10 years old when we were living in Romania. And I haven't been back to Romania in a while, but we lived up at the kind of the edge of the Carpathian Mountains in this mountain town called Sinaia. Make sure I'm going the right direction. Yes. And Romania is a beautiful country. They have got farmland and hills and forests and beautiful castles. They raise sheep, cows, goats. They're the kindest, friendliest people that I've ever met. That's a picture of my brother and me and my sister. That's me and my sister. Behind us is a farm field. Here's a cow that's hanging out by someone's house. Now in Romania back then, I don't know if it's still the case, they don't usually have tractors and stuff like that. So they had to use their own animals as well as wooden implements to farm their land. This is a picture of me and my sister on a homemade wooden Ferris wheel that people had to crank with their hands in order for it to go up and down. And it was really fun. This is a picture of my dad and me and my sister in, I think, maybe Bucharest, which is the capital of Romania. And this is me washing my socks in the sink in our apartment because we didn't have a washing machine. And then that's just a picture of a farm road, a small village in Romania. So those are some pictures of where I was living when I was 10 years old. And what was really cool is my sister Katie and I made a lot of friends with these cool Romanian kids, even though we didn't speak Romanian very well and they didn't speak English very well. But even though we didn't speak the same language, Katie and I taught our Romanian friends how to play baseball, and our Romanian friends taught us how to catch chickens to bring them inside their roost at night, which is very hard, but it was a lot of fun learning. And we also found a lot of things that we had in common that we all really enjoyed doing together. And so even though someone might seem so different from you, there is so many fun things that you can learn from people just by trying to figure out how to talk and figure out ways that you can do things, even if it doesn't involve speaking the same language. So please move, please. All right. So with that, thank you for going down memory lane with me. It's time to get up and move a little bit before we meet with Professor Gobbler. So you can see my cool alligator shirt. Or crocodile. I don't remember which one it is. I know that crocodile, I think, has a rounded nose. All right. It's time to get up and move. Get out of your chair. Bring your arms up high and reach for the sky. Then you bend down low and touch your toes. Come on, everybody. Come on and move your body. Next, do some circles. Circle in place. And hop around like a bunny. Then we'll do some jumping jacks. Come on now, everybody. Come on and move your body. It's time to get up and move. Get out of your chair. Bring your arms up high and wave them in the sky. Then bend down low and touch your toes. Come on, everybody. Come on and move your body. Next, we're going to sing If You're Happy and You Know It. I'm going to change a few of the things, though, so keep an ear. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, say Oppa!
Opa.
If you're happy and you know it, say Oppa!
Opa.
If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, say Oppa!
Opa.
If you're happy and you know it, flap your arms like a chicken. That's hard to say fast. If you're happy and you know it, flap your arms like a chicken. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, flap your arms like a chicken. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, do all four. Clap your hands. Say Oppa! Arms like a chicken. Stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, do all four. Let's Oppa! Stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, do all four. Oppa! Boom, boom. All right. That was perfect craziness. All righty. And I think that we have Professor Gobbler with us again to give us a book recommendation. So Ava will have to be the Gobbler's book holder.
Oh yes, hello. Oh, hello. I'm so glad you have joined me.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. I am back with another book that I would like to recommend for you all to read. It is about different forms of communication, just like what you were talking about today with how Moses communicated with different people and that beautiful brown Carpathian bear. Now, this book is called Drawn Together. Drawn as in drawing pictures. And it is written by Min He Lee, and it was illustrated by Dan Santat. Now, what is so nice about this book is it shows a young boy and his grandfather. And his grandfather is from their home country and does not speak English. And the boy does not speak his grandfather's language. And so at first when they are together, they have nothing to say. Show some of those pictures. They're very beautiful pictures. But over time, as they're spending the day together, the boy starts drawing pictures. And the grandfather, he decides to start drawing pictures too. So that is a picture of the boy, and that is a picture that the grandfather drew. And they both realized they enjoyed drawing pictures. So they spent all afternoon drawing pictures together. It is such a nice, beautiful book. Beautiful colors, drawings, and it has a wonderful message about communication is more than your words. You can find many ways to get to know someone, even if you cannot speak the same language. So I would recommend the book Drawn Together by Min He Lee, illustrated by Dan Santat. And you can find these at your library or on Amazon or any online bookstores, or even for your online digital booking like Kindle or something like that. Is that what you call it? Kindle? Yes? All right, yes, like that. So thank you for having me on your show. And please check out that book. It is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bye-bye.
Awesome. Thank you, Gobbler. That was a great recommendation. It is a beautiful book. I love the colors in it, and I love the message that it has. So, good stuff to follow through with. Now, before we move on into our closing of our time together, just remember that tomorrow at, what time, Ava? Do you remember? 4 p.m. we have our Zoom Kids get together. And we are going to play some games. Last week we did some fun trivia games, which the girls and boys were very good at. I think it was mostly girls, yeah. But they're all very good at the trivia that we did. So we'll play more games like that. And I also for show and tell tomorrow, I want you to draw a picture of a place that you want to visit. It could be somewhere in the United States. It could be somewhere around the world, but a place that you've always been interested in visiting and getting to know better. Or if you've been to a place that you really enjoyed, I would love for you to draw a picture of that. Or if you happen to have pictures to share, like what I shared today about my time in Romania, bring those with and share them with us so we can talk about different places we're interested in learning about or visiting, or places we've been to that we want to share with each other. So I see Wendy's going to be in Florida next week with her grandparents, so she's going on a trip. And even though Florida and Minnesota are in the same country, states are very different. So it's cool to learn that even in your own country, anywhere you go is always going to be a little bit different than what you're used to at home. But that's okay. That's what makes traveling fun. All right. So we will be getting together on Zoom tomorrow, 4 o'clock. And we're going to bring some picture that we drew or pictures that we have of somewhere we want to visit or that we have visited. So. Oh, yeah. Now, did you all remember the picture that I put up on our thumbnail? Those are all pictures of different items from different countries. That's because we were talking about different types of communication. This little box is Hungarian, and it's intricately designed and very pretty. This is a praying card to the Virgen de Guadalupe, otherwise known as Mother Mary. This is a figure that is very important to Mexican and Spanish culture. Then we have, now this was just something that we received as a gift from the country of Peru. Yep. I believe that's in South America or Central. All right, this is a cool mug with a cover. And I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese, but it has a pretty garden in it with ladies playing instruments. Very cool. All right, I'm going to move over here. This I got in Chinatown when I was in New York visiting my sister last, but I believe it's
A lucky cat.
yeah, I think it's it's a product of Japan. Lucky cats are common in Japanese culture.
They go like this.
Yes. And then this last one is a statue from Italy, from the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So if you look at it, it's supposed to look like it's leaning. That is a place in Italy that a lot of people go to visit. You should look up the Leaning Tower of Pisa and why it's leaning, and whether you think it was intentional.
It was the earth. It shifted, and it was bad dirt, and it.
I like that. Yep. So great.
It's like this, but it could be like this.
Yep. All right. So those are just some of the items because I thought, it'd be cool to show different things from around the world since we talked about communicating with different cultures. All right. So I'm going to, can I have my seat back?
Oh, yes.
Or actually, no, here's my seat. All right. So I'm going to finish our time with a word of prayer, and then we'll sing our With You song.
Yay.
So we'll start with prayer first. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing all of us together today and that we can enjoy being together virtually and learn about all sorts of cool things from different cultures through reading and exploring and asking questions. Help us to be always willing to get to know people and figure out ways to communicate even if we don't speak the same language. And thank you for creating all the people in our world and all the beautiful cultures that practice so many different amazing things that we can learn from and grow with and show love to. Help us this week to be good helpers and move into our weekend joyful and encouraged. And all God children said,
Amen.
all right. Scoot things around so I can get back to my guitar. Yeah. All right. All right. I like having our Wednesdays together. We always get to talk about fun things and learn from each other. And there's always next week to look forward to, and our Zoom call to look forward to tomorrow. And as we know, the clouds are in the sky, but they are not as high as I am. The frogs, they hop and hop, and they never stop like me. I think of all the things I've done and all the things to do. It's so good to be alive. It's so good to be alive with you. The clouds are in the sky, but they are not as high as I am. The frogs, they hop and hop, and they never stop like me. I think of all the things I've done and all the things to do. It's so good to be alive. It's so good to be alive with you. So I hope to see you all tomorrow at 4 o'clock for our Zoom get together. Bye bye.